excited to be here and be a Packer. I think you fit your defense and have enough flexibility in your defense to fit it to the personnel you have. The success of any team is everybody understanding what is your role and clearly defining that role, and then doing the very best job that you're capable of. And my goal right now is to do everything I can to help this defense be as good as it can be.
We zero in on the Green Bay Packers, who brought in new defensive coordinator Dom Capers this offseason. He'll spearhead the change to a 3-4, but Green Bay didn't make too many significant changes in personnel. They signed former Steelers safety Anthony Smith, but lost defensive tackle Colin Cole to Seattle in free agency. Some team needs defensively: outside linebacker, corner, and nose tackle. As we just mentioned, they finished 20th overall in the NFL and 26th against the rush. Ryan Grant could get some help, but he's averaged 1,000 yards the past 2 seasons, but he's been a little nicked up. Time now to put the Packers on the clock, and for that we check in with Tom Pelissero, the assistant sports editor of the Green Bay Press-Gazette. Tom, thanks for joining us. Dom Capers now the new head of the defense in Green Bay. How do you think he's going to affect the way that defense plays, especially switching to that 3-4?
Well, there's going to be a significant effect. Now, are they going to be full 3-4 in year one? Probably not. But, I mean, if you look at the team right now on paper, you've got 2, probably 3 starting spots where it's really not clear who's going to play. There's going to be more blitzing. They're going to play more zone coverage in the secondary. But as far as who's going to be playing it, especially in the front 7, that's not entirely clear yet.
Packers have the 9th selection overall. Who do you think they're looking at?
Well, I think there's a number of different defensive playmakers they could be looking up there. The number one guy you got to think about is nose tackle B.J. Raji out of Boston College. He's the only elite nose tackle. Now, the Packers are projecting that Ryan Pickett is going to be able to be stout enough in the middle. I'm not entirely sold on that, and on top of it, Pickett is not a young guy. He's entering a contract year. If you bring in a guy like Raji, he's going to give you a lot of different stuff. He's going to give you a second option in the middle, and you're going to be able to bring him along. Now, Raji has some issues. He had the academic suspension. He had another suspension over a fight in 2006. And he also now, there's a report out saying that he tested positive for marijuana at the Combine. There's a lot of stuff on the guy, but you need the best defensive playmaker you can get when you're switching to a scheme like this, and Raji might be it.
Okay, what about in the second round? Do you think they'll go offense or stay on the defensive side of the ball?
You know, Ted Thompson's drafting history suggests that he would be willing to stick with defense again in the second round. It's really tough to project this far in front of the draft who they're going to be taking in round 2. But again, you have to look at outside linebacker, you have to look at a 3-4 defensive end, and you also have to look at offensive tackle because Mark Tauscher is coming off a knee surgery and might not be re-signed. He's been the right tackle since 2000, and your left tackle since 2000, Chad Clifton, is entering a contract year and is into his 30s himself. That position's got to be addressed sooner than later, and so that's certainly going to be an option in round 2 if, say, an Eben Britton from Arizona slides down, or if there's another guy who's a riser late here.
And quickly, how much more comfortable is Aaron Rodgers going to feel this offseason heading into the regular season as opposed to last year?
Well, you've got to think that, I mean, that's a twofold question. Number one, there's not that lingering question hanging over this team and hanging over Aaron Rodgers like there was last summer. You've got to remember the first week